Started. Okay. Yeah, let's get rid of that one. I can't seem to get rid of the. Right, something. I clicked that one. No, I've got the list of. I've got the pictures of everybody on my screen. I can't get rid of it. That's not normally there. Anyway, so welcome everybody. This is now week 11.
Sessions.
It's session number 4. I think it's week 11 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And not only are you approaching the end of your module, but the main part of the Friends project, or at least the first part, is approaching its end as well. And so one of the things that we need to do today is just do a quick rundown of what the project has been all about, and then to ask you to complete a 5-minute, depends how quickly you type, questionnaire, and I'll put the link up at the end, although the QR code and hopefully the link is in the Moodle page anyway. So that's one thing we're going to look at today.
So this is a 2006 group, right? Just to confirm that. Are you guys on a 2006?
Hopefully it's 2206.
Do you know what it I can see thumbs up. So some of you have gotten email from me for this to do your survey. So I'm not sure whether you've done it or not, but otherwise we can all do it later together. Yeah. So I did send emails to this group of students.
Just answering the question about Jason going to the funeral, because I've now got the chat box appearing on the screen as well. Swan's now become this big on the screen because I don't know why. I've got everybody's pictures and I've got the chat screen and I've got Swan. Never mind, something's gone a bit weird today. No, although I will be in the UK. Yesterday I said to somebody, they said, oh, I thought you might be in the UK at Buckingham Palace. I said, well, I'm flying on Saturday night. Really? But not going to Buckingham Palace. But I will be in the UK next week for a series of meetings. Unfortunately, those meetings on the Monday have now been postponed, but it does mean I can watch the funeral live in the right time zone. So that'll be interesting. Although I won't be in London, I'll just need to watch it on TV. Anyway, let me put some slides on. You should have the right slides now. So we are in the 14th of September. Welcome one and all. But as I said, we're also going to again. That should have been there. That did. One thing we're going to be looking at today will be the final reporting part of the Friends project and its impact. So we always start by looking at what's so special about today or this week, and whether you've guessed it or not, I do like eating. It's National Cream-Filled Donut Day. So not your, the silly ones with all the icing on top. There has to be cream inside that will ooze out and cover your tie and make a complete mess all over you. Preferably, it doesn't say cream and jam. I think it should have jam in there as well, just to make it even stickier and messier if it, sort of squashes out the hole at the end. So that's today.
I want some donut now.
I was about to say, Swan is on level 5, if anybody is on campus, and she's in her office. I'm on level 5, and I'm in my office in the Chancellery. So, if anybody wants to send any cream or jam and cream, in fact, I think I'd accept any donut, then you'll find us on level 5. If you don't want to do that, you might want to send us some nice pictures just to say we like you, because it's also National Colouring Day. And I know colouring used to be for kids. Well, you now get the, let's say it sounds a bit dodgy, adult colouring books, not adult.
Hey, I have 2 of those, by the way.
No, but I was thinking it can sound dodgy as in adult colouring books,
right.
not that sort. It's more difficult pictures that you colour in rather than adult pictures, because that would be maybe too rude. Okay, and I always think I might talk a little bit too much, so this next one might be quite appropriate. It's also going to be there's going to be lots of minutes of silence. There have been lots of minutes of silence, and there will be more to come, because obviously I think we should put in this one as well for Her Majesty the Queen, and we know that the funeral will be taking place next Monday. A nice picture of her in her youth. Okay, so anyway, going back to the agenda, just give you a quick rundown of what the Friends Project was all about up until now, and you know, what's actually been done. And I've just realised that I haven't shared audio, so give me a second. Okay. Can I now? I think I might be sharing audio now on the slides. So hopefully, Swan, you just have to give me a thumbs up when I press play to see if you can hear it.
Of this experience, and the friends you will make will stay with you forever.
Regardless of your age or background, Erasmus Plus will challenge you to reach your full educational and professional potential. So, what are you waiting for? Visit the Erasmus Plus website to see how it works and what grants are available in your country.
And get ready for an unforgettable journey.
Okay, so you might have seen that one before, you might not have done, but the Friends Project, which is what this module is based around, is one of those Erasmus Plus programs. Oh, there are people waiting to come in. Hang on. Swan, can you let them in? Thank you. So the Friends Project, as we've mentioned a couple of times before, incorporates European and Asian institutions, 4 in Europe, and then 12 institutions across the 5 partner countries in Southeast Asia. Okay, so it was based around trying to provide international exposure without having to travel. Now, the project started before the pandemic, looking at how we could reduce carbon footprints. Then the world went into lockdown and people weren't able to travel. So this module did actually help to provide some information about different cultures and how to interact with them. And that's what's in the materials that you've been working on. But internationalization at home is, as it says there, the purposeful integration of international and intercultural dimensions into the formal and informal curriculum for all students within domestic learning environments. So you're doing it at home without having to travel. What we were doing was trying to strengthen this across the whole of the sort of the Southeast Asian network. So integrating intercultural dimensions into the curriculum. That's why you're doing the module in your computing programs. Now, we find that some students, Swan probably gets more of these questions than I do. I'm a computing student. Why do I need to do this module? Because it's got nothing to do with computing. And Swan, what do we say?
because it will give you first is how the module is being run. Of course, it's all it's a MOOC format, and I think this is the first module or the only module that you're experiencing on how MOOC works, and that's one thing, the technical part of it, being a computing background. Second, of course, then is the exposure. I think you've seen it in the video on how you could. It will give you an edge when you go out to look for a job, the intercultural aspect of things, the awareness and the story that you share, the digital video that you do. Again, I think this is also the very few modules that will that you have all the free hands on deciding on what kind of video you want to create, what kind of a story you want to tell, what you have learned from it. I think from track records, students do come back to us and say that they have learned a lot from this module, even though this is a self-pay, self-learn module. You only see us like 5 times in the semester, but maybe at the end of the semester you reflect on what you have learned, and then you realize those are the things that you have learned. And of course, that you should have gone through all the units in the module, and looking at all these different areas. Of course, students who have won the video and get to go to Bulgaria is even richer with the experiences. Yeah. So those are some of the things that I think you would appreciate, and why we do this module.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to see if I could get to see the chat window if anyone was asking any questions, but I can't see it. So if there are any questions, I'm sure you'll be able to sort of throw them out to us.
I will let you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what we've been doing over the last 3 summers has been holding our APU Friends Day, which we try and coincide around about the same sort of time as the International Day of Friendship from the United Nations. As it says there, friendship between peoples, countries, cultures and individuals can inspire peace efforts and build bridges between communities by accumulating bonds of camaraderie and developing strong ties of trust. To achieve lasting stability, weave a safety net that will protect us all and generate passion for a better world where all are united for the greater good. We're not suggesting that the IA
Andy, your mic is off. I think some of you
Thank you.
are being a little bit mischievous and muting us. I think someone has muted me earlier on, and now again, and also someone must be the same person who has also muted Andy here. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. So you can all read what it says there. I'm not going to read it again, but we're not suggesting that this module will actually allow you to achieve all of those goals, but it will give you the areas of thought so you can see how you can work this into your future lives, into your future jobs. So what have we actually been doing over the last couple of years for the project? Well, okay, so we launched it in March. We have had the different activities going on. The tea house opened. It was a virtual opening of the tea house, unfortunately. And then we had our announcement of the first winners of the digital story competition. Now, those students were supposed to then travel to Bulgaria. However, as we said, the pandemic hit, and some of the funding for this project requires students to be the people that will benefit from the project need to be students at the time of the activity. The winners of the first digital story competition, unfortunately, by the time the pandemic had diminished enough to allow travel and for the bootcamp in Bulgaria to take place, they were no longer students, or would not have been students by the end of the year. So they weren't allowed to go, unfortunately. Here's some of the photos, and these are some of our original winners. Now, they weren't able to go, as we said. So in 2022, we carried on. And we did have another round of digital story winners. They were then able to travel to Bulgaria for the boot camp. So this is them on the bottom left. This was 46 students, I think it was, that went to Bulgaria, and they did have, you know, a great experience, came back more confident in themselves because of that ability to mix with both the students from the Friends Project, but also the local students from the Bulgarian institution. Now, there are still opportunities through the Erasmus project for things like that to happen again. And we have projects with the University of Westminster in the UK. We've got a new project which will be starting at the end of this year with, okay, one is with Varna University of Management, and that's in Bulgaria. So that's the same place that this group of students went to. But then there's another one in Slovakia. I can't remember the full name of the university, unfortunately. It's no, it's got two saints in the title. There's a third one, sorry, a fourth or third new one, fourth one in total, which we're still waiting to hear about. And these projects will allow students the opportunity to spend one semester at the partner institution, then bring the credit back to Malaysia. So the Erasmus Plus projects are really useful to provide you with that international exposure, and to be eligible for that mobility, students will need to do the IACD module, either within the curriculum as you're doing, or they need to take it as an additional module prior to being selected as a potential participant. The people that get to go to those institutions will then go through a vetting process at those universities. So at the moment, I think we've got 6 students that have submitted their applications to go to University of Westminster in January, February of next year, and they are having their applications reviewed at the moment. So if you do well in the module, if you do well in the digital story, then you will be potentially shortlistable, if that is a word, to go to.
Listable. I like that.
Yeah, to go. Bulgaria, sorry, to Westminster or Bulgaria or Slovakia, or the other one, if we get that one approved as well. Something else that we've done, and you may well have been on campus at the time. So June the 26th, it's 29th, I can see it on the screen. June the 29th, we had the APU Mega Career Fair, and there were, I think, 980 students that submitted their CVs for this event. This was for internships as well as for jobs at the end of graduation. And yeah, some institutions, some companies that came to find maybe 4 or 5 students to employ, so Standard Chartered, who are just along the road from APU, they ended up employing over 20 because the students had the capabilities and were confident enough to go and work in those organisations. So again, this module will also help you with that because it provides you with the ability to understand more about working with people from different backgrounds and different cultures. So that's what the project's been all about, and that's where we are at the moment. Swan, anything you want to add?
Not really.
Okay. So what I will then do is, are there any questions in the chat box that I can't read from here?
No, nothing.
Okay, if there are any questions, please let us know. Oh, I suppose some questions. So some people have contacted me about the digital story, and they've been saying, can I do this, or can I talk about this or this or this? I think the content of the story is it's obviously important because it has to grab the attention of the person that you are going to be directing the video at. But we want to learn about your experience. We want to know what you learned from whatever the experience is, and how you can take those experiences and apply those lessons learned in your future life, whether you're in a different type of situation, whether, you know, some students have come back and said that they've not had any travel experience. But even if you've not travelled, whether you're currently at home overseas, whether you're at home in Malaysia, if you've not travelled, you will have had some cultural experiences even at home. It might be different cultural events. It might be having friends who have come from different countries, maybe friends from different backgrounds. And by interacting with them, by getting involved with those different activities, you will learn something about yourself. You'll learn something about your own background and beliefs. And you'll learn something about other people's backgrounds and beliefs. You then can look at those and say, that's different. Can you learn something from that experience and say, okay, that's going to be something I can learn from, and in the future it might help me when I go to go on holiday, when I go to a party and I mix with people from different backgrounds, when I go for my job interview, I can go back to this experience and say, here's an example of something that I learned and I was able to apply it in a different area. So I know one student said, could they talk about car culture? Another one was talking about exam culture. Different cultures around the world will see assessments in very different ways. Some countries are going to be looking at you must study hard, learn to repeat everything. Is that really engaging? Probably not. But there'll be a lot of maybe parental or family pressure to do well in your exams, but also learn to play the guitar, learn to dance, learn to sing, learn to take up a sport and do well, become a world-class diver. And all this pressure is put on people in some countries. Other countries, the culture might be saying, do what you like doing and do the best you can in the area that you are happy in. So there's lots of different things you could be talking about when it comes to those sorts of experiences, and what's the difference between maybe your family, your background, and what you see other people looking at. So those are some of the questions that we've had over the last week. Another question I had was related to the timing of the digital stories. No more than 2 to 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes is what we are supposed to be working on. But what you want to be reminded of is we did say up to 10% more time. So that would be 3 minutes and 18 seconds if we're taking it as the actual 10%. So somebody else contacted me and said, was 3 minutes and 20 seconds okay? I said, no, not really, because it's 3 minutes 18. I'd try and go for 3 minutes 15, and then you've got that little bit of extra time that you can play with in that last couple of seconds to get things all tidied up. Okay, so anything on digital stories?
Yeah. Just to echo what you have said, I think students also contacted me and doing the same thing, asking similar questions. I think you have addressed that already, saying that what the story, because I think a lot of students, when they provide the information to us, is all in written words, and they call it a script. So it's all very well written, and the story sounds very interesting, and but really is how you can convert that into the digital video, which we will mark only the digital video, not your script. I think one of the students actually asked, talking about the word count for the script, but the script, you do not have to submit the script, and we don't even need you to create that script. But by you writing that script, I think it helps to frame your thoughts to create into digital video. It will be useful. But from the script, I will advise you to transfer that, convert that into becoming a storyboard. storyboard will be more useful because storyboard will give you the visual. It'll give you the dialogue, the visual, and all this. How to do storyboard is in your Moodle, is in all the workshop, is in there. There is a workshop on storyboarding, right? I believe so. On
Yes, there is, yes.
idea generation. How do you come up with ideas? I think ideas, you guys have got very interesting ideas. As I said, the challenge now is, would you be able to convert that paper-based idea or spoken words on your idea into digital video and still carry the same essence, same message that when you tell us in written words, because sometimes it may not be so straightforward in doing so. It's not a translation. You have to think differently. You have to know when should you use this video to represent certain information, when should you use images to represent certain information. And I think some students are asking, can I use, I think you meant using verbal converted into text or into spoken words using machine. That is fine. There's no marks will be deducted by doing so. Some of you say, I don't want to use my own voice to record to comment in the video. That's fine. You can use any methods, but it needs to be effective. The effectiveness is you are able to tell the story well through the digital video. And the most important thing is, what have you learned? What lesson did you get from that experience itself? Right? Whether it's a car experience, a car culture. I got a car culture, so which is quite interesting. But what is it that you learned from the car culture? What does it teach you? Yeah, did you if you were to go through the same experience again, would you do better? I think we share some of the experiences with you guys as well earlier on, talking about different countries and all this thing. Yeah, I think I don't know whether I've shared with this class. You know, one of it that I shared was that when I first went to UK, I addressed everybody with Mr. or Miss, or which the European, like I call Andy, I don't call him Prof. Dr. Andy, or rather to be political correct, I have to address him as Prof. Dr. Seddon, not even Andy. Yeah, but we call each other my first name, which is very common in the Western countries. I think in Asia we like to address with Mr. or Sir or Ma'am. And when I first arrive in UK, when I do that, and people are laughing at me. So that's my cultural experience that I have been through, and the lesson that I learned from there is that I got to know locally how do they address that issue. How important it is to address people with the title. Yeah. Of course, in formal setting we have to do that, but in normal setting you don't really have to do that. Yeah, that's one of the examples. Yeah. Now on how to do that, how to convert, what is the good tools to use and all this, these are all in the tutorial. I suggest you go through all the workshop in Moodle. It's all in there, very comprehensive. That's why this module is in MOOC format. It means all the resources that you need to create a good assessment is all made available to you via Moodle. Yeah. Some of you also ask some of you show me you have got you have got very obvious watermark because of the tools that you have used. It's not an issue, but when the watermark is such an eyesore, then I was suggesting maybe you want to try other tools. This one is not even watermark. It's a very solid image over the video itself. Yeah. So luckily the student that I spoke to, he has asked me this way earlier, so he has got time to actually change the tool. I hope he has decided to change the tool. Yeah, so just to share with you some of the things that some of the students, some of you have asked us, and maybe it's also applicable to everybody, that you can share the information. I think similar to what Andy has gotten as well. Yeah.
Yes. Now, one thing that also has been identified by the European team is the use of the logos and the disclaimer. I'm just going to open up my email to read the message that they sent, because when the videos are to be uploaded, they need to make sure. Where is it?
While Andy is retrieving the file, another reminder, make sure that you follow all the requirements needed. Where are the requirements? How do you know what requirements is all in Moodle? The logo, the text, all this, make sure you do that. Yeah, your disclaimer. Don't forget your disclaimer. Don't forget your logo. Yeah, all these files are available in Moodle.
Okay, right. I'm now just going to share the email that came through from Katerina. So the digital stories. We need to verify that the front and back covers attached are actually used. Now, okay, we don't need to worry too much about the particular logo, but if you've got that, fantastic. In fact, maybe I will upload these to the Moodle page. So they've said we need to make sure we've got the funding, the friends, and the logo, which some students have done. The background's slightly different, which I don't think is a problem, but we need to make sure we've got the co-funding logo, the friends logo, and the APU logo. And at the end, we need to have the disclaimer. I can't remember. Some students have already submitted their digital stories, and I looked at one earlier today. Can't remember who it was because there were a few in there already, but there was no disclaimer. So this is the disclaimer here. The project has been funded with support from the European Commission. That bit needs to be in there. So if you have already submitted your digital story and you know that you haven't got at the end of your story this wording or this slide, then let us know, because because the deadline hasn't been met yet. Anything that you have submitted, you think, oh, I need to resubmit it, let us know, and then you can put it in with the correct final slide or final screen with the disclaimer on. So what I will do is, as soon as we finish this session, I will upload these two to Moodle into the resource section, and you can use those as your screens for your digital stories. If you've got the logos and you've got the disclaimer, but the background's different, don't worry, don't resubmit, that's okay. But if you haven't yet submitted, or you have and you haven't got one of these sets in, then let us know and you can resubmit to correct it. Okay, and just come back to here. Anything in the chat?
Yeah, there is a question that asks, should the disclaimer be at the end or can it play during the video?
According to the email that came through from the European team, they want it at the end. So I think originally they said it didn't matter. It could have been at the beginning, but now they're saying, I don't know if it's a new directive from the European Union to say it has to be at the end. So please put it at the end. If you've submitted it in at the beginning, again, just let us know, and then we can open up so you can resubmit with that disclaimer as the very last thing that we see.
Usually you should put it either up front or at the end. You won't do it during, in between.
But yeah, because they have identified, the first and last thing that should be seen. So the disclaimer, I suppose that disclaimers would go at the end. If you think about when you're watching a movie, do you get the bit in the opening titles that says this movie is based on fiction, any similarity with persons living or dead is purely is unintentional and coincidental? That's always at the end. That's their disclaimer. So yeah, the disclaimer really, I suppose, should be at the end. So I'll upload those two shortly. Any other questions about the digital story?
How many of you have completed at least 80% of your video? Just final touch. So final touches need to be done. How many? Nobody? Can we see a show of hands? Or you do not know what 80% means? Okay, Jawad, good. All right, so there are some of you who have done quite a bit and just, as I said, hopefully just final touches. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay.
Got a couple of people letting me know that they need to resubmit. So if Swan, you want to keep talking for a minute, because I've got these two
Sure.
names already. I'll do it for them now.
Yeah. Are there any questions from you guys? I think we have provided quite a lot of information. Just a reminder again, as I said, it's important to say what you have learned from the experience, all experiences. So that is the most important one, yeah, because we don't want it to become like a travel vlog. You say you have been here, been there, have done this, you see this, you eat this. It's very cold, and that's about it. So that's like as I said, like a travel vlog. You just did a video blog regarding your travel. So, but we want you to go into a little bit more in depth to discuss on a particular experience that you have encountered during your travel. Well, it doesn't need to be travel. It doesn't need to be the experience doesn't need to be obtained from your travel. It could be from just being here. Yeah, so yeah, and what you have learned from it. Yeah, for the beginning is okay as long as the Erasmus logo is on the top left. Yep, I believe so. The limit for the video is strictly 3 minutes and 80 seconds. Yes, strictly, that's correct. Anything that is extra, marks will be deducted. And although we did not set a minimum, but a good practice would be nothing less than 2 minutes. We would say you use up to 3 minutes because 2 minutes or 2.5 is really too short. It's going to be difficult to express what you want to say. So I would say use up to 3 minutes. Don't go over that. Can I talk about the culture of my own country that I am unfamiliar with due to my upbringing? Of course, you can, Afsha. You can talk about that, but you got to then add on the bit that say that now that you get to know about those culture that you were not familiar with in the beginning, what does it teach you? Are you comparing it with the one that you from your own where you were being brought up, or did certain experiences teach you a lesson? Teach you a lesson, I don't mean to say teach you a lesson as in what have you learned from there, it's like the way I say it is like it's like teach you a lesson. Yeah, so it's not I don't mean to say that. Yeah, so it's some experiences could be pleasant, some of the experiences maybe not so pleasant, but whatever it is, what have you learned from it? Right, don't forget that part, because that part is really, you need to start to think about it besides just putting in pictures and all this, put some sound and call it a day, and that's a digital video. So it's a what a lesson that you have learned will need some thinking on your part. Reflection, I would say, is as a reflection. You reflect on the journey that you have been through, the experiences that you have gone through, and think, oh well, if only I know this, I should have done this. And because of this, now that I will carry out certain tasks in a different way because of what I have learned, because of my past experiences. For example, those are some of the examples that I'm just sharing it with you. Yeah. What else? Don't forget references. If you have taken some images, video, music from the internet, make sure you do proper referencing. Referencing means you state to say where you have taken those sources. Yeah. Is there any specific name to save our video? I think
Yes, it would be useful. I can't remember whether it's on the web page or not, but if it can just be titled as IACD. Oh, let me just type it in the box
Yeah,
here.
you type it in, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be IACD digital story TP XXXXX. So I've just typed it into the chat. If you give it that title, it won't have your name attached to it, which is yeah, we don't publish anything with people's names on. That's okay, but it allows us to easily track you down in the system.
Yeah, Asifa said you got another query. Of course, please go ahead.
But yes,
Yeah, ask.
the more queries, the better, because we want to make sure everybody is happy. And don't think, oh, it's a silly question. There's no such thing as a silly question. There'll be a silly answer. We're very good at providing those.
I have written about my intercultural experience, but what is this? But sadly, I do not have any video references. What do you mean by that? Because your outcome, the submission that you need to submit is a digital video. It's a video. Yeah. So I don't really understand what it is.
You can find, so that's why we talk about finding stock images. So on the resources page, there's a list of places that you can go and you can search for images that are copyright free, and you can include those in your digital story. So if you wanted to talk about, I don't know, okay, so we mentioned cars before, okay, and you want to talk about the cultural differences of people driving in country X and country Y. You've got no pictures of people driving cars, but there'll be pictures on these sites where you can get a picture of a car that's driving on the left-hand side of the road. There'll be pictures of cars where it's a right-hand drive, they're driving on the right-hand side of the road. So you can get these images and incorporate them. These sites also have short video clips, which are copyright free as well. And so you can download those. And if you wanted to have some video footage, you can put that in. But wherever you get the images or wherever you get the videos from, you need to make sure that you are referring to where you got that image or that video from. Now, you have to be very careful if you're taking things from somewhere like YouTube. You can give a link to the YouTube video and say this is where it has come from, but you don't own the copyright for it. So you can't reproduce all of it. You could do a few seconds of it and say the video is from somewhere else. If there are other sites with videos, they might also say you are allowed to reuse this image or reuse this video, but you must use the following wording to refer to us as the owner. So when you look in the front of a textbook, you've probably not ever seen a textbook, you're so young. But if you've ever seen a textbook, I don't even have a textbook.
You don't have a textbook either.
Hang on. So I'll keep talking because I've got something in my cupboard. It's been covered in about 6 inches.
Okay, I'm going to answer some of the questions here. Some of you asked whether you could play Dua Lipa song. Yes, you can play any song, but you still have to do referencing. Means you have to say where. That's
right,
not your song.
Be very careful. You're only allowed to
very
have
careful,
a small amount. You can't play the whole song.
Yeah.
Because you are getting into copyright issues. So you can have 20, 30 seconds, but once you go beyond that, then it does get into the realms of copyright, and you will then be potentially infringing on copyright. If you're aware of
well, unless you want to pay the recording company that produced the song. Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh God, who had the recent lawsuits that he won?
You mean the song?
Yeah, UK guy. I forgot his name.
Andy and Jason?
No, he's got hair.
Okay, you think. If the photos are owned by me, I don't need to do citation, right?
You need to say that they're yours.
Yeah, they can just mention that it's
Yeah,
yours.
just say, image, my photos taken on my holiday to wherever. Okay, right. So
Can I
okay.
use images from the tools that I'm using? Yes, you can just mention that these images
Yes.
are stock images from whatever tool
found
that
a book.
you have.
I found a book,
you have
and it
taken
says here, no part of this book may be reproduced in any form or in any means without prior permission from the publisher. So if you were to take words from a book and quote it, you are supposed to get in touch with this particular company and say, I want to reproduce this. Do you give me permission? They will then write back to you and say, yeah, there's no problem, but just make sure you cite us properly. But you still have to get that recognition. And that's in front of all textbooks. Well, I say text doesn't, not even a textbook. It'll be in the front of, all books, fiction. In fact, it's probably in magazines as well, which says you can't reproduce stuff. So yeah, be very careful if you're going to use video footage. And one student previously did put there was a whole sequence of gaming video clips, but that was still flagged as infringing copyright because it was gameplay, and it was the people that produced the game spent months or years creating the characters, working on the animation, the backgrounds, the textures, getting it all right, and then you're freely sort of publishing this. Rightly, they're thinking, but I put all this effort into it and I'm getting no recognition at all for what I've done. So it's to give people recognition. It's not always about the monetary recognition, but it's the ability of the person to put that that piece of something together. Right, and I'm still trying to solve the issues.
If the song is non-copyrighted, can I then download the whole song in my video? I suggest not to. It's not copyrighted, but it still belongs to someone. It's still not yours. Because this video is you created the video. That's your video, digital video that you will call yours. And you put in a song that is not created by you, so that's not correct. That's not right. So you still have to acknowledge it. And I would advise that you do not download the entire song. Yeah. So for sound wise, you can put in sound clip, just a snippet of the song. There's also some other sound effect that you may want to use. I think that's quite fine. Like deng, like oh, that used to be very common. Used to be, yeah. So that is still okay. Or your own voice and all of that. That's fine. Anything that is not yours, that you did not create it, you need to acknowledge it. You need to say where you have gotten it from. Right? So that's the basic, that's the guideline on what needs or what do not need. Because if you don't, it means that you have stolen something from someone. You have stolen the idea, you have stolen somebody else's work and call it yours. So that is not all right. That's not correct, yeah?
Right, I was asking a question elsewhere in a separate chat from one of the students. Where did we get down to? Have you done the song as non-copyrighted? Have you done that one?
Yeah, okay.
You done that one? Okay.
Yeah.
The educational trip one, have you done that one?
No, that one not yet.
Okay, so can I write a story about my educational trip to another country? Yeah, that's fantastic, because you probably will have learned quite a lot from it. Put your own pictures in, yes. Your own videos, yes. But again, just put a little note at the bottom saying these are my pictures. Again, over recent months or so, people upload pictures and they become viral, and then they become really, really popular. People pay thousands for it. So you might have taken a photo on your educational trip and it's a fantastic shot. Somebody sees it, says, I want to buy it from you. And if it's there and there's no recognition of where it's from, they might think, no, I can just take this, and then you lose out on making money yourself. One very good example, we mentioned the passing of Queen Elizabeth earlier. One of the things that has become viral and people are now paying a large sum of money for is the picture of Queen Elizabeth holding hands with Winnie the Pooh. I was trying to think, was it which bear was it? Yes. So her sort of walking with Winnie the Pooh, and people are paying a
Not Peter
fortune for
Rabbit?
it. No, because at the event in July, June, July, her 70th anniversary.
Jubilee.
Yeah, it ended with the scene where she acted with Winnie the Pooh, where she took a marmalade sandwich out of her handbag and said, "I keep this one for later." Anyway, so yeah, so that was just something that somebody posted on their Facebook page, and then it's worth a fortune now. So if it's your own images, own videos, make sure people know they're yours, because it could do well.
Then somebody else can citate your pictures, your work. Yeah.
It's
What about
recognition of you by
background?
others.
Yeah. What about background theme music which do not have lyrics? Same thing. You still have to do reference them, because
Again,
you
so,
can.
So some of the software that you can get. So the videos that we've got in the Moodle page, there is background music there, but the background music is the free background music that I can't remember what it's called. Whatever application was that we used, it's the free background music that's available with that tool. So at the end of the videos, it says, or it's always got the logo in the corner saying this video was produced with such and such, and that then covers all of the audio and video that's taken from there. But yeah, so again, even if it's got no lyrics, it's still owned by somebody.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Imagine,
mean nobody owned it. Somebody created it, unless it was a computer.
Yeah.
And if it was a computer that had created it, you'd want to then recognize the company that owns the computer that created it, because they've got the scientists behind it, like you, the computer scientists, who will have developed the software to be able to create music.
I think you said, if the background music has no copyright, I cannot play it in my whole video, even if I say in the end that it's not mine and cited. You can use it as long as you do a citation, as long as you say where you've gotten it. You can use, you can download, you can use video, music, all this you can, as long as, like you said, at the end you say, this is not yours, or well, you don't have to say this is not yours, you just have to say where you have gotten it. Then you can use it, of course.
Yeah, because you downloaded it from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it might be,
Just put in
again,
the source,
going
yeah.
into the module, there are links to places with audio, video, photos, and it would give that particular site name of where you got it from. Okay, I just want to finish with two more very quick things. We always go through the review. I need to get rid of the slide now. Where is it? Is that? Yeah. We go through the review of where everybody is. That's what it was looking like as of yesterday evening. Again, it looks like a lot of people have not completed the 107 steps, and so if you don't complete it, you won't get the European certificate. Putting it into more exciting colours. So again, 22% of you have got to the end. Another 8%, so about 30% in total are there or thereabouts. Really, by this week, you should have got to the very end. You can still complete it after the end of the module, after the end of the class test. But we want you to complete it so you get that certification. So you get to the end of the module and you're saying, great, I don't need to do anything, but you won't get your European certificate. Do it as quickly as you possibly can. Get to the end and make sure you've gone through all of the different steps, including going through all of the self-based learning activities that are in there, all of the reference lists. Make sure you've clicked on all of them, because some of you might say, well, I think I've finished, but yeah, it's not showing 107 steps. So when you go into the MOOC, it will tell you how many steps you have completed out of all 107. And if you find it's, you know, it says you've done 106 out of 107, you think I've got to the end, just go back and double check, because there might just be one area that you've not clicked, and you might have thought, I don't need to look at that. But if you don't click it, you don't get sort of that tick mark, and then it won't complete for you. The last thing, just as we're about to end, we said that the French project is getting close to the end, and this is the report card, or the final report card for this phase of the project. You can scan the QR code. It's also available on the Moodle page, but the European team want to find out what people think about the intercultural passport, which is the basis of the IACD module. They want to know, it's been very difficult for the last 2 years because we haven't had much happening on campus. And the Friends Tea House would have been the hub for all of the activities to be organised that actually take place in the building. Now, there are some activities going on, but you might not necessarily have been back on campus to experience those yet. Obviously, now that we're moving back into face-to-face delivery, there'll be more people on campus, there'll be more activities, and the Student Representative Council, who will be running them, will be based out of the Friends Tea House on level 5. And so they will do that. So if you are able to find 5 minutes, could be 6 or 7 minutes if you're a slow typer, it could be 3 minutes if you're a quick typer, then it will be useful to get your feedback so that we can pass that back to the European team, and that will be combined with the feedback from the other 11 institutions across Southeast Asia as well. So I'll just leave that one on the screen so that you can write the details.
Yeah, we miss Jason as well. Someone said I miss Dr. Jason. Me too, us too.
Oh, I don't. I've been in contact with them all the time. My goodness.
Oh, Mr. President.
Okay. Hang on.
Oh, I do have a question that says, is it okay to write more than one experience? Yes. But if you do that, are you able to actually present that in the video? 3 minutes is not too short, not too long. If you can put it together and present it well enough, then yes.
I think he's busy because I've just sent him a message to say that the students miss him. There you go. Oh, no, he's typing a response. So here we go. What's he saying? And hopefully it's not rude.
Email we give AP key for what? Joshua, you mean to log in? Email you will always use the survey. Yes. Please use your TP one. Yes. Sorry, I forgot that you're doing your survey. Yes. How many marks will I lose by leaving my disclaimer in the beginning? Well, won't be a big chunk, but if let's say the overall quality of the video is, and then losing 2 marks is a lot. Unless I would suggest you just to change it, you still got time anyway. Yeah, William? My advice.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jason doesn't believe that you miss him. he sent a reply saying it's lies. they would miss you, Swan.
No, they are missing. I'm here, so they don't have to miss me. Where's that message? I need to capture that message to show him.
Yeah, so I was trying to find it as well, so I could just quickly send it to him.
Yeah, I definitely saw it. Sorry, sir, my charging is 1% and I'm outside. Can you please take care of my attendance? We'll think about it. You look after your battery, making sure that you have enough, because you don't know you have a
And
class.
also, if you've been here for all the sessions, you know that attendance is automatically taken.
Yeah.
So, and it really does annoy us when people ask. Anyway, no, it doesn't say anything about Jason anywhere. I can't see the word Jason. No, nobody misses him.
No, someone did say that. I read it. I saw it. Where is it? I don't know.
I
I
think Swan's
can't
missing
find it
Jason.
as well. I don't know.
Yes, it's Swan. It's not anybody
Of course,
else.
I miss him. We tell him every day, didn't we? We should put disclaimer and logo only at the end. Yeah. Yes, everybody. We've been answering the same question over and over again.
I'm not listening to the same question over and over again now.
Okay,
Right.
I think
And that
is up.
is time now done. As I said, what I will now do is I will upload those two beginning and ending screens and put them into the resource page for Moodle, and then you can use them if you want. I know that one student has contacted me to allow them to resubmit with the disclaimer in the right place. I know how to do it, and it seems to be working, so that's fantastic. So if there is anybody else that does need to resubmit something with disclaimer or whatever in the correct place, then just let us know. Okay. Now I will go to work out where I need to put it. The resources section. I can't remember now. Let me see. So thank you very much, everybody. Good luck with the digital stories. Digital story workshop files, resources.
Please contact us individually, team us outside if you still have questions that you're not able to ask today, and you thought of it later. You can still contact any one of us for any clarification. Yeah. Although we need to go now. I hope you have all done the survey. Andy is looking for something.
I'm trying to work out where I'm going to upload these documents.
Shall we
Yes.
call
Okay.
it?
So I think well, we can finish there, but just keep an eye on the Moodle page. I will drop those to, maybe it's in there, maybe it's looking in the wrong place. I was looking in the wrong place. There you go. So it will be in the digital story workshop files area. And very quickly, let me just share so everyone knows where they're going to be looking.
That's why you
Okay.
say you can't find it. Oh, the survey
So-
you have to do the code.
The
Use the
QR
code,
code that I
the
had
QR
on the
code.
screen earlier. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
also in on the friends on the Moodle page as well. But the intro and the outro slides I will put in at the bottom of this section. So sharing your cultural journey, digital story workshop files, I will put it into this section here.
Yeah, I think one of your classmates, Yongjun, thank you, has shared the link again for the survey. So you haven't gotten it, you can take a look at it now. You can still do it. It won't take more than 5 minutes, I think. A quick one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm going to upload those files now so that everybody's got them, and then that will hopefully solve all the problems.
Yep, and you guys can we can wrap it up, and you guys can leave the room now if you want to. Usually we'll wait till everybody or more 90% of you gone before we leave. So don't wait for us to leave first. I'm sure you know that by now. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, this will be the last time we meet you online. I mean, as in the module is over. So it's hey, we still got one more time. Sorry.
I think we got one more. I think we
Yeah,
got
I'm
one more.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got one more.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
We'll see you
Yes.
in very near future. One more session. But by then, I hope you guys would have finished all the units. You should have started your video and finishing on your video. Not just started, you should have finishing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Miss, I have a hello.
Yes, can hear you. Tell us.
My video is 4 minutes long. How big of a problem is that?
A very
Big
big
problem.
problem because you're told 3 minutes. So if you can't, you need to meet the requirements of all assignments. So you're gonna have to cut it down.
What's the most I can cut down to? 3.5? Can I negotiate?
318 is the absolute maximum.
Not okay. I can negotiate. Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Imagine everybody is negotiating with us. Can I have 19 seconds? Can I have 20 seconds?
Okay, right. I am now. I've worked out where the files need to go. I've just got to, because the version that they've sent is a bit grainy, so I'm just going to create a new one. Shouldn't take too long. I'll do those 2 PowerPoint slides. That'll be easier, won't it? Yeah.
There's still 62 here.
I've stopped looking at questions. So if
no
anything
more
comes
questions.
up,
Yeah,
okay,
all
that's
done.
good.
Yeah, no question.
Then I'll just make sure that this is created. One. There's that file. Okay.
Is Hall still there? You don't know?
Sorry?
Hall. Purple.
He popped in, saw that we were in class, and he said, "I won't disturb you," and he walked off. I don't know whether he came back. I didn't pay any attention.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to log off. Yeah.
Are there many more?
Yeah, I just want to run to the.
No, they are here. And so everyone else, you can leave. Okay, Joshua, I'm just typing an answer because other people might also have a similar question. Okay, so it's trying to provide opportunities for you to improve your understanding of being international, but without needing to have the travel experience. So we build it into the curriculum. You have some of the examples you'll be given in class will be international examples. Some of the assignments that you'll be doing might then need to be, might ask you to do some research on, yeah, how, if you're talking about ethics, maybe, so ethics of, research, what are the research ethics in country X compared to country Y. So some of the assignments might have an international element in there as well. You're mixing with students from lots of different backgrounds. Obviously, I don't know whether you're on campus, but if you're on campus, then there'll be a whole range of students you'll get to meet and mingle with. The activities that we run through the Student Representative Council are there to try and promote different cultures, backgrounds, different events, and so everybody will get involved in that. There's the multicultural event that happens at the end of every year. So it's trying to allow people the, or give them the opportunity to understand how to be international, getting an international experience or flavour without having to do all the travel. That's basically it. I think that's basically it. So hopefully that helps. Well, I'm still trying to find the file that I need to find to upload for everyone. If there are any other questions, I am unfortunately away from the chat window while I try and search for a file, but I will return shortly. To answer any further questions. I want to find guessing everybody else has probably vanished. So I will close down the session. And if there are any other questions, just let us know. So take care, everyone, and goodbye. You can stop. I'm talking to the class. I'm just stopping you recording first.